You guys push the button. Subscribe. Now that we're all cozy and comfy, guys, welcome back to the Lifted podcast. I wanted to talk about excuses and excuses that you might be making. And the only reason that I want to talk about excuses is because I have been making a fuck ton of excuses lately, okay? And I wanted to be like, same, you guys, same. And I think I just wanted to dissect that a little bit because the last couple weeks, probably the last, I don't know, I'm going to say 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know, maybe a month. I feel like I've been catching myself on those excuses and being like, no, bitch, you cannot do that to yourself. Because I made this TikTok a while ago and I said, we are the only ones actually holding ourselves back. Like, there is genuinely nobody else that's holding you back from doing shit that you actually want to do. And I think we just have to take what we're feeling and the things that we're making excuses about and be like, why do I not want to do that? Like, why am I not doing it? Why haven't I done it yet? Maybe you're procrastinating. Maybe you're just saying that you're too busy, or you're saying that, oh, I don't have enough time. But realistically, we prioritize the stuff that we want to make time for. So I feel like we hear it so often that people are like, oh, I'm so busy, or like, oh, I just don't have time for that, or yeah, I don't have time is probably one of the number one excuses that I hear like all the time. And it's not that we don't have time, it's that we're prioritizing other things. Think about it. Like someone in fitness, like myself, you guys know that I hate to talk about fitness on the podcast. You know what's crazy is like I'm this fitness girl on every other platform, but the podcast, I'm like, let's move away from fitness. But this time, we're going to talk about fitness for a second. And I think there's so many people that, they want to get into fitness. Like, look at myself, okay? I go to the gym every single day. If I don't go to the gym, it's a weird day or it's a rest day. And I don't make excuses for the gym. Like, the gym is one of my priorities. Like, I don't even have to schedule it into my calendar anymore. I am like, it's not a day without the gym. Wow, I sound crazy, but at the same time, is that even crazy? And that's the thing, is you're going to prioritize. Some people are moms and they're going to prioritize their kids. Some people are, maybe you're really fucking into your career. And I've done this before where I've prioritized my career before friends or before family or before so many other things. And then I'll have a mental breakdown and be like, oh my God, I feel so lonely and I feel so alone. And it's like, you kind of did that to yourself. Like, you've been prioritizing friends and family, or I mean, not friends and family. That's exactly the opposite that you've been prioritizing. And it's crazy because we get all these feelings and we're like making excuses. Like, I think I hear most often, I'm not sure if it is because I'm a trainer or what, but people like to talk about fitness with me all the time. It's probably because it's the only thing that like they can relate to me with. I'm not sure. I'm sure other trainers will understand this, but people always bring up fitness with me. And then when they go into fitness, they're like, oh, well, I am eating this one bad meal, but the next one will be good. And the next one will be good. Or, I'll eat really healthy tonight. Or I didn't make it to the gym today because, my back was kind of hurting and, I have back issues. Or I didn't make it to the gym because I've heard them all, okay? I've heard all the excuses. I'm busy. I work night shift. I didn't get up early enough. All of this stuff. And I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, if you want to talk about fitness with me, it's fine. I don't care. But when you're making excuses for things, like, look back on those excuses and be like, was I actually that busy? Like, could I not have gone to the gym across the street for 30 minutes in my lunch break? Could I not have gone for a walk today? Could I not have? I get it. Sometimes life gets in the way. Actually, have a story to tell you guys that kind of made this click for me. And it happened in Kelowna. And it's like the funniest shit ever, okay? I, first off, I want to say I posted a photo of these mushrooms, this microdose. And it was a mood one. So it's supposed to boost your mood. Anyone on Snapchat is going to know what I'm talking about. I posted it because I was sharing it. I was like, I'm going to take these this morning. My mood is going to be great. And opposite happened. So I am a person, I like to work. And don't tell me that this is toxic, okay? I probably already know that it's toxic, but I like to work in the mornings. And like if I don't work in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, I got nothing done. The rest of my day is not that it's bad, but I'm definitely like in a bit of a mood. I feel a little bit more stressed out than I would have if I worked. And we know that. Like James and I both know that. So even when we go on vacation, like I also feel like this is something that I've enjoyed doing on vacation my since I started traveling alone, actually. Since I started traveling alone, I have loved going to like different cafes. I think it brings me some sort of like comfort or something. Going to a new gym and going to a cafe is like something I would still do at home, and it's something I'm familiar with, and it almost makes the city more familiar to me. And it also helps me get work done and be productive and whatever else. And if I know that about myself, like I'm going to do it. So we go to Kelowna and we go to this cafe. And of course, I'm going to work and I'm like, this is great and whatever. When I get into the cafe, like I realize that there's not a lot of seats. And I'm like, okay, like I don't even know what I was thinking. I was just kind of like, okay, well, I really want this coffee because it's good coffee. And then I didn't think about where the fuck we were going to sit. And kind of thought about it. Not really. I was kind of just like, maybe we'll get lucky because sometimes I get lucky and someone will leave at the same time. So we got coffee, and then you could tell that I was like slowly getting into this mood. Like very slowly, I was like more stressed out, more like, what the fuck are we gonna do? James is trying to fix the problem. He's trying to be like, well, we could sit over there, we could move the chairs, we could do this. And like, I'm slowly shutting down. Like, slowly, my mind is like, what the fuck am I doing? I, we get our coffee. And I'm like, well, I guess we just have to go work in the car. And like, I'm already in a mood at this point. So we're walking to the car, silence. And we get to the car, we get in. Obviously, I'm just not okay. And James is like, well, should I just take you home? And I'm like, it's like 40 minutes home, okay? No, like you're not. I'm just going to be in this mood. And then, of course, he's just like, oh, we'll just work in the car. Like, we have our coffee, we have Wi Fi, we have everything. So he goes and we just park at a park. Weird. And we're parked, and I get in the back seat, and I literally just start crying. I don't even think it was silent crying. I think it was just openly crying. I just had to let it out. And so I'm crying in the back seat with my laptop, with like all this stuff because we're traveling in the back. And James looks in the mirror and he's like, are you okay? Like, is everything fine? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. As I'm like wiping my eyes and like blowing my nose. And he's like, he literally looked back. I don't know exactly what he said, but he was like, you literally, like, we have coffee and we have Wi Fi. Like, just work. And I was like, oh my God. Why is it that simple? Like, why is it genuinely that simple? Like, what am I actually crying about? Because I shouldn't be having a problem right now. And like, not even that he was being rude about it. He was literally just like, I don't actually understand the problem. Like, what are we upset about? And I'm like, of course, I'm just like, I'm just a girl. I don't know. I have to cry. And so I'm crying still, working, but I feel like it almost clicked something in my brain. Maybe it was a microdose that I took like an hour before, but I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, that is so true. And I think we take everything like we almost overthink things. We overthink scenarios. It was like me making an excuse of being like, oh, well, I don't have somewhere to sit in a cafe. It's like, bitch, you still have Wi-Fi. You still have coffee. You're the one that wants to travel and work at the same time. If you can't do this, imagine doing it somewhere else and like not having Wi-Fi or not having, like, you have to be able to adapt to things. And like for me to just, I don't know, I think it was just such a like like a realization in my mind being like, okay, this makes sense. Another thing that I have felt lately is everything is like you. Like I was talking about at the beginning. You're the one that actually like makes shit happen. Like if you don't do something, like it's not getting done. You know, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to tell you to go to the gym. You can pay a trainer, but I was actually talking to my friend about this morning. And me as a trainer, I am not going to wake up at like 5 a.m. to send you a message to go to the gym. Like, no, that is not me. I've had girls ask me to do it. I've had girls say like, oh, we'll just set an alarm and like send me a message and whatever. And I think we're all adults and like, I will give you everything when I'm training you. Like if we are one-on-one training, I will give you all my knowledge. You know, I don't take one-on-one clients anymore. This isn't me trying to sell shit. I canceled that a while ago because I'm not that person. Like I literally will not tell you to go to the gym. I think we're all adults and I think that we should be able to be like, I can get myself up. If you really want it, you'll fucking make it happen. Okay. And I just wasn't really that person. And I don't think that like you can pay a trainer and stuff to do that for you, but you really have to like change your perception on things and get yourself to go and stop making these excuses because the second that you stop paying your trainer, they're going to stop telling you to go to the gym. And no hate, like if you want to pay a trainer to do that, you should probably fucking do that because why not? You obviously have the money to throw around. But I think taking responsibility for a lot of things has helped so much. Like, I think that everyone should almost learn that in their life is like, you're responsible for everything, like, whether it's your decisions, it is your excuses that you're making. Like, if you don't actively work on something like that, it's never going to change. And, like, I hate to keep talking about fitness because I did tell myself that I wouldn't really talk much about fitness on this podcast, but it's a really good reference is like people will just constantly make excuses and until you take responsibility for like you're the one that didn't get up at your alarm, you know, you're the one that didn't get the gym membership when you said you would, you're the one that didn't order the dumbbells when you said you would do that, like you're the one that didn't meal prep. Like, who's coming to do it? Your mom? Like, that is, sorry, but that's probably not going to happen. I wish. Mom, if you want to fly here and do my meal prep, I'll love you forever. But I still love you anyways. But it is like, if you're not doing it, you're not doing it. And yeah, I feel like I've just been feeling that lately is we make excuses for everything, myself included, and I just want to like actively stop that. So I wanted to kind of share a couple things that I'm doing. So to-do lists have been huge in my life. I don't know. I actually think there's a science behind it of like writing things down and being able to cross them out. Even I think they were saying it's even better to do it on paper than it is to like type it out on your laptop and like, you know, delete it. I think there's like a reward for actually being able to cross it out. And I believe that 100%. I think a couple of years ago when I was using lists and to-do lists and, you know, whatever else, when I was crossing it out, I feel like I got so much shit done, you guys, like so much done and everything would get done all the time. Just wait, I need a sip of my tea. Okay, to-do lists. So to-do lists are one thing that I'm doing to stop excuses and procrastinating. And anything else. And if you guys are struggling with that, I would definitely suggest doing to-do lists. I feel like writing shit down, writing everything down, what also helps me is doing it like the night before. So when I know I have stuff to do and like I want to get to it right away, I'll just do it the night before so that it's almost like people saying that you should lay out your workout clothes the night before or like put out a glass of water if you want to start drinking more water. It's like putting that into your head that that's a goal for you today. So if you set out your workout clothes, you have your outfit, and you're going to work out in the morning, you're so much more likely to do it because it's easy for you. You pick up your clothes, you put them on, and you go to the fucking gym. Maybe you brush your teeth and brush your hair and, get ready, whatever. But you actually still do it because you just almost took out those excuses. Like, how many times have you set your alarm and then you wake up and you're like, oh, it is so much work for me to like figure out my outfit and, put a little bit of makeup on and brush my hair and whatever. But if you have everything laid out, those excuses are no longer valid. Like you have taken away those excuses. So the only excuse you have is like, I'm just being lazy. And it's okay. You can totally be lazy. Do what you want. Everyone has different goals. But if that's one of your goals, like make it easier for yourself and like do that. So that's like me with my to-do list at night. It's like if one of my goals is to like be more productive during the day or whatever, I'll make a little to-do list and then I know what I'm getting up to do. I know the priority tasks. I know like the priority things that I need to get done, or I need like, I don't know, maybe I have to do laundry or something. Like I'm just spitballing ideas, but at the same time, it really, really helps. One thing I am the worst at: messages. I answer messages, but occasionally I will get really overwhelmed with like comments and messages and, just different Snapchat groups or whatever it is. And then I'll open shit and I will not reply. So like if I've done that to you, I am so fucking sorry. I have zero excuse for it. Aside from, and I figured this out recently, is it's just overwhelming. And I reach a point, I find that when I'm at the gym, I can answer messages way better because I think it's just because like fucking beats me. Maybe it's the endorphins or something. I have no idea. Maybe I'm just like, I'm bored. I have to answer messages. I answer them way better at the gym. And maybe it just gets rid of that like overwhelmed feeling and it like helps me relax a little bit. Maybe actually. Wow, I think we just figured that out together. That's so cool. Maybe that is so fucking cool. Anyways, so yeah, I feel like I'm trying to get over that and realize that if I do need to answer messages, I know I'll do it at the gym. So like that's almost my goal at the gym is like not answer as many messages as possible, but make sure I do it, Otherwise it doesn't get done. And it's like you have to find different ways to do that. So even for me, if I'm making excuses for something, I'll go on a walk because I feel like it gets your endorphins going again. It helps. I mean, it's healthy anyways, but it also gets you like off screens. And I feel like screens now can be so time consuming and you're almost like engulfed in a screen for like, if you're scrolling or something, you could be in it for, oh my God, hours. Think about how long you watch TikTok sometimes and you don't even realize it. So you almost need a reset. Or if you're tired, go for a walk. It honestly helps so many things. And I love it personally. But last thing that I do is I just fucking do it. So if something's on my to-do list and I'm like making excuses, I'm too busy, I can't do that, whatever. If it's like a short little task or something that I can do quickly, I'll just do it. If it's something like the gym that you're trying to go to or trying to do in the morning, put it on your schedule, put it on your to-do list until it becomes like a habit, until you're like obsessed with it, until you're like, this is part of my fucking lifestyle. Yeah, just kind of switching to like action-based alternatives, I feel like. So if you're like, say you have a task to do. So for myself, when I have stuff to do, I'm like, okay, I have this thing to do. Say it's, I don't know, fucking editing this podcast. No, James does that. Say it's, I don't know, editing some TikToks. I'm like, I'm too busy to do this. Realistically, I will take that and be like, okay, what am I doing right now? Like, do I have 10 minutes to just start? And most of the time, once we start something, you just get into a rhythm and you get really focused and you just like almost want to get it done right there because you've already started it. So it's almost like that initial push. And people think that that's like motivation and you have to have motivation for everything. And it's like, no, you just have to kill your excuses. So anytime you're like, I don't have time, I'm too busy, I'm fucking fill in the blank, just literally anything under the sun, just do it. Like, what is that? Isn't that like a Nike thing? Just do it. Just fucking listen to that. It's so true. It's it honestly changes your life when you think about it that way. And yeah, I feel like in my life I've like seen people use excuses a lot, and with one-on-one clients I've definitely seen it, or with, girls that I've run into, or even just genuinely people in my life, even myself. And I am like, the only way that you get past it is being like, why am I feeling this? Like, why am I not doing my laundry? Why am I not going to the gym? Why have I not meal prepped? Like, what is actually holding me back from that? Because people, us as humans, we're always like, I want these results. Like, I want, the fat ass and the skinny waist. I want, I don't know, maybe you're a dude and you want a big chest or big arms or whatever. Maybe you want a Tesla. I would love a Tesla. Maybe you want like a new couch. Maybe you want whatever it is, a new apartment. You can always take steps to get to where you want to be. So if you want a new apartment and you're like, how am I ever going to afford this? Save up money. Like, but then you're going to be like, oh my God, I don't have any money to save up. I know you're going to say that because my fucking ass would have said that a couple years ago. You do have money. You're spending it on shit. Where are your priorities at? Actually, I was in a session the other day, a while ago, with I do like energy work every couple months. And he was like, he didn't really tell me not to buy Starbucks, but I was like, I probably spend a lot of money on Starbucks. And he's like, well, what I was doing was all the money that I have spent on Starbucks, for a couple months, I didn't spend that money because he wanted to go on a trip. And he's like, I want to spend that money on coffee. I think he was going in Europe. So, like, obviously, you want to buy a coffee in Europe. It would be so good. And he's like, I didn't spend that money and I put it into an account. And it ended up being like $2,000 to $3,000. And it was like he was just buying a coffee and like a muffin, like almost daily. Like, when I got my first apartment, something they asked me was, because I knew I didn't have a job because I was moving to a different province. So I quit my job. And so obviously, when you get an apartment, they're like, what job do you have and can you pay for it and whatever. And so instead of having a job, they also ask you how much you have in your bank account instead. So like if you don't have enough income or you don't have an income, there's also the option of being like, I have this amount in my bank account though. So like I can still pay rent for a couple months. And that's what I had to do. And of course I saved up money and I had that amount. So I got my dream fucking apartment downtown Vancouver because I spent the time saving this money. And it's like, it's crazy because people do make these excuses like, oh my God, I don't have any money and I'm too busy and I have this and whatever. And these are genuinely just excuses. I understand that some people are in like shitty places and whatever, but there's always ways to get out. There's always more money to be saved. There's always places you can, move your money around to, or like, stop buying, what was it, like $7? Jam is $7. If you eat a lot of jam, just don't buy jam and save that $7. If you eat out all the time, don't go out all the time. If you want a gym membership and you're like, oh my God, I can't do that, but you eat out like, do you pay for gym memberships every 2 weeks? I think so. And they're like $30. That's like one meal or two meals out, like depending what you're getting. Yeah. I I feel like people make excuses and for a lot of things. And I just want to end this episode with saying that like there's genuinely never a right time to start things. There's genuinely never a right time to there's not a right time for anything. Really. And I think I've learned that over a couple years. And like, look at my content when I started, you guys. Like, if you don't do this, please don't do this. If you scroll all the way to my first TikToks, I think I'd cry if I watched them. But that's me being dramatic. But like, honestly, I hear these people being like, I can't start because it's not perfect and I can't do this and I can't do this. And once again, it's more excuses. But I just want to tell you guys that, like, whether it's a gym, maybe you're wanting to make content, maybe you're wanting to start a podcast or whatever it is, like, just do it, just start it, just make those like small steps to start doing something. Because if it's something that you really want, like being fit or being healthy or eating healthy, like taking small steps to do it now is going to get you there faster than like if you just did it perfectly from the start. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for listening, you guys. Like, comment, please subscribe. It helps our show so much. And share it with your friends if it helped you. Anyways, stop making fucking excuses and go to the gym. No, I'm just kidding, but bye. Love you guys.